Hey, Bunker Labs. We are here for another all-in interview with one of our entrepreneurs. I am so happy to welcome Marek. Welcome to All In.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
So first of all, just introduce yourselves. Tell us about your affiliation with Bunker and your military experience, and then also about your company, CS1 Mindset.
Sure. I got involved with Bunker Labs through the Veterans in Residence program. I was part of not this cohort, but the previous one. It's been a fantastic experience. I'm an Army vet. I did 6 years active duty, infantry and signal corps, and then I did 10 years in corporate America at ExxonMobil. And about 2 years ago, I decided to take a big step of faith, start CS1 Mindset, which is a coaching company that focuses on igniting men's hearts to lead in personal professional relationships.
That's awesome. So with your company, what are the types of services and things that you provide to your clients and customers?
So my flagship service is one-on-one coaching, depending on the needs, whether it's a personal professional relationship or a professional relationship. Somebody's not happy at work. Somebody might be struggling with relationships at home. What I do is based on that need, I assess the appropriate package for that person to help them develop simple steps that they can transfer their relationship from a source of frustration to a source of strength and something that can inspire them and lead in that relationship.
That's awesome. So you're the perfect person to do one of these all-in interviews, actually, because we are going to be talking directly to entrepreneurs. So for you, what are you telling fellow entrepreneurs and clients to keep doing during this kind of external crisis that we're in that's out of our control?
Sure. So my number one advice is keep innovating. I think it's very safe to say that innovation got us into being entrepreneurs. We noticed a way or something we can do better to better serve our clients, whatever that service that it is. And so that's what got us into entrepreneurships. And so that's what's going to get us through this difficult time. And I'm not preaching to anybody. I have to remind that myself every single day. For example, I just published a book a month ago called The Love-Driven Man. And for about a month, the book was a number one release on Amazon. But then the crisis happened. All of my speaking engagements got canceled. And so it would be very easy for me to point the fingers at the virus, just be upset. But it's time to practice what I preach. I mean, that I believe that I have a better way to help men make better choices. And so why not apply that same mindset? That's why it goes back to the name of my company, that same mindset to this situation. Because here's the thing, if we can find a way to serve our clients and be of value in this very difficult situation, imagine what we can do when we come out stronger and how much more capable we'll be when this situation comes back to normal.
I love that. And not only applying that to, yourself personally, but professionally in your business. And I am going to have you, can you just tell us a little bit more about your book, The Love-Driven Man, and where people can find it?
Yeah, sure. So you can find it on Amazon. It's available on Kindle as well as a physical copy. And so essentially it's part testimony, but also leverage business example, historical example, fictional examples. And because what I found is that when it comes to us men, something happened in our life that hurt us. And because of that event, we tend to control whether ourselves or other people. And that typically damages our relationships. And when that damages our relationships, we don't even notice it. And that prevents us from being happy and reaching the full potential of being able to lead in our lives.
I love that. And we will drop a link on where to find The Love-Driven Man below.
Thank you very much.
So also, Marek, tell me about what entrepreneurs should stop doing, but what people should also maybe stop doing right now that's going on with our current situation with this external, frenzy going on.
Sure. So one thing I'd say, and again, it goes back to the mindset, it's stop dwelling on fear. Because when we are in a state of fear, when we think about the worst case scenario, all the bad things that could be happening, that prevents us from taking action. And the less action we take, the less likely we'll be able to find solutions to these difficult problems that we're facing. And so, I'm not immune to it, even though I coach it, it still happens to me. And so number one thing is that whenever you notice these thoughts, do something as simple as it may be that snaps you out of it and helps you take action, because the more action you take, the more likely you're going to be able to get ahead of your problems and be a beacon and a light and leader in the situation.
That's great advice. Just action, to have that actionable kind of process and also driver. I love that advice. And also, a lot of entrepreneurs are encouraging other entrepreneurs to look at this as an opportunity.
Sure.
So what can entrepreneurs look to start doing in their business or personally as well?
So the number one thing I'd say is call one person per day. And just to give you an example, for example, whenever I start dwelling on the negative thoughts, on my fears, the number one thing I typically do is I open up my cell phone or go in my cell phone app and pick a name and they call that person. Because here's the thing is when you call out and you check in on that person, your attention is on that person, on that relationship, on that connection. That helps you have a healthy break from the negativity. And so when that conversation is over, not only you've strengthened that relationship, but you are able to come back to the situation with a fresh perspective, with a fresh mind, and you're in a much better position to find new solutions.
That's great. And where can our community go to access some resources that you would also suggest so that they can look into their mindset, but also for their business?
Sure. So I would point them to my mentor. He doesn't know he's my mentor yet. It's Tyler Perry. Do you know Tyler Perry?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the reason why I like Tyler Perry is because that guy walks the talk. And so like I listened to him a couple years ago and he talked about don't despise new beginnings. And he talked about it in the context of him starting out. I didn't even realize this, but for the first few years of his career, he would put on these plays that very few people would attend. He would have to mend the concession stands and sometimes even live at his car. And so it would be very easy for him to despise the situation, despise the few people that showed up. But he didn't. He really catered to those clients. He really cared for, he put the best effort regardless of how many people showed up. And that mindset helped him and prepared him for the much better opportunities because now, among many things, he owns a studio right outside of Atlanta that employs 30,000 people. And so this applied when I ramp up my business, not despising new beginnings, really putting all of my effort to the few customers that I have. But it's also very true right now because I'm doing a lot of things, I'm taking a lot of action, but it feels like a lot of it is waste of time and there's very little response. And so again, it will be very easy for me to get upset, despise the small beginnings, but his example helps me to really focus on that positive response, however small it gets, however small it is, because I know in time, if I keep doing that, it's going to translate in something much bigger in the future.
That's great. And actually, I don't know much about Tyler Perry's story, but that's really interesting. And I'm definitely going to check that out. Obviously we know his movies and his content, but also the beginnings of what that was, of what his dream and empire really was is so interesting. And entrepreneurs can definitely relate, I think, to a lot of those things. Well, thank you so much for just giving your time and your expertise, specifically, for your business being mindset and how maybe that's something we're not thinking about all the time, but definitely some applicable things that entrepreneurs can do to make sure that they stay positive and get out on the other side of this. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for this opportunity.